All right, excellent. Well, we are now live. It's lunchtime live here today on Wednesday. This is episode 4. So I'm super excited to finally have my schedule sync up with the fabulous, fantabulous Nancy Sue Gaskin. So, Nancy, welcome to Lunchtime Live.
It is my pleasure to be here. I am so excited.
Fantastic. Awesome. So, those of you who are watching, I'd love to see where you're coming from. So, give us a wave, say hello in the comments, let us know where you are coming from or tuning in. So, again, my name is Olivia. I'm your host today. I'm a LinkedIn Vibe expert. So, my belief is that visibility, impact, and brand expression are the keys to your social media success. So, I love nothing more than just to highlight the fabulous people in my network and find out what they're up to and showcase them to our audience and learn a little bit more about them. And it's funny. So I met Nancy to this date like last year, and we were from an online networking group, and she interviewed me. So now the tables have turned. I get to interview her, so I'm really excited for this opportunity. So Nancy, do you recall our very first meeting?
I do with that. My goodness. We hit it off really right from the beginning, though, so it was wonderful.
Oh my gosh, look, we've gone international, Nancy. I have a dear friend in Vietnam that is watching us. So look at that. Hello.
Oh my goodness. Hello.
Hello, Miss Thuy. So Vietnam is on Nancy's bucket list. I think she has traveled everywhere in her military career, but not to Vietnam.
That's right. That's right.
So,
And I have to have a guide to go with me. So you and Mr. Sue will have to go with me.
absolutely. We can definitely arrange for that. Excellent. So, what I really love about Nancy when I first met her is that she described herself as a heart centered entrepreneur. And I love that. So, I'm wearing my heart earrings in honor of that. So, Nancy, can you tell us a little bit about, how did you come up with that? What does it really mean to be a heart centered entrepreneur versus just an entrepreneur?
Well, one of the things that, a lot of people mistake an entrepreneur for is they think that it's all just nothing but the money. We're very highly ambitious usually. All of those things go along with it, materialistic, love things. But a heart-centered entrepreneur is very different. A heart-centered entrepreneur wants to achieve all of that, but they want to do good in this world. They want to make a difference with their life, and not just in their life, but in the lives of all those around them. And so I've noticed, through the years, I've run into people and met people who it was all about me, all about me, all about me, what I can accumulate, all of those things. And not one time are they thinking about how they can serve other people. And that is the difference.
Fantastic. I love that. I love it because it touches upon something that I really practice and, engage and try to follow in my own business model is just having a give first mentality and finding areas in which I can contribute and add value. So I love it that we're in sync in that way. No wonder we started our own group. So for those of you who are interested, Nancy and I, along with another co-founder, Debbie with a Y McKinney, we banded together and we created Lunch and Learn Zoom Fridays. So every Friday we get together, and Nancy is our fearless leader of that. She runs a tight ship, keeps everybody on task with the agenda. So Nancy, just reflecting, it's we're coming up on a 1-year anniversary with the Lunch and Learn Zoom Fridays. What has been the a favorite memory, and how do you see us growing?
Well, we started this thing really because we realized that everybody stunk so bad at elevator pitches. And since everything was going virtual, it was driving me crazy because I consider myself a networking queen. Everywhere I go, I don't have trouble meeting people and, the business cards and all of that stuff. And I really saw that there was a need for us to gather somewhere and practice those elevator pitches and irresistible offers and all of that. So one of the most significant things that I have seen, including yourself, is how far we've come since a year ago and how we present ourselves on camera. This has taken on a whole new life of its own, Zoom, and all of these different virtual platforms. But to watch everybody from week to week come in there and grow and blossom and become more confident and not be afraid to ask for help, because as entrepreneurs, you know, we tend to want to do everything by ourselves. We want to fly solo. So we've got a lot of solopreneurs. And guys, you need a tribe. You need some people in here who can make you want to rise higher, go further, faster. You need inspiration. You need encouragement when you're having a bad day. So this, over the course of the year, is how we've evolved. And now we're a gathering place for entrepreneurs at every level. So whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, an emerging entrepreneur, or a seasoned entrepreneur, we're your home base. We're where you come every single week, and we celebrate. Sometimes we can just give you a kick in the tail when you need it. You know, quit feeling sorry for yourself, get out of your pity party and go to work. Make some money, right? Sometimes we just need that. Sometimes we need a sounding board. So those are the type of things that, the other thing, I guess, is we're a global group, and I love having friends all over the world. And everybody that's in our network, we're not just business partners, we're friends. I mean, I feel like at any time I can pick up the phone or send a text and you will answer, or you can do the, you know, vice versa. So we have really made some really wonderful friends all over the world.
Fantastic. I love it. I love the kick in the pants, because you do need that accountability as an entrepreneur. And what I really love is that as an aspiring entrepreneur, I get to be mentored, right, by all these seasoned business leaders, and also share, you know, what's new and trending in business as well. So you're right about the pitches. I mean, I can remember my first pitches all over the place and all jumped up. And now I'm able to have a more refined message. So wonderful. Awesome. And I agree with you. I love seeing.
And confidence, your confidence, along with all the rest of ours, you know, your confidence is at the ceiling. You're not afraid anymore.
Yes, yes. And, you know, and just borrowing the belief, right? So I think this is so in any endeavor. You know, we are our own harshest critic. Oh, I'm getting an echo here. And, you know, we may not have the belief in ourselves just yet, or at least I didn't. I didn't have like sort of that belief. And so I had to borrow others' people's belief in me to build up that confidence. So that's what I credit this group for. So awesome. And, you know, I'm curious too, because, you know, we're developing an entrepreneurial mindset takes time. And with your own background, because I know you've held like every job under the sun, and you had to move a lot too, you know, with your family and your kids and your husband, Rob, being deployed all the time. So, you know, how did you gather like even entrepreneurial skills while working or in doing those various jobs that you have?
Well, one of the first things that I want to attribute is my family. My dad and my grandparents were entrepreneurs. So I grew up around that type of mentality. I was always, you know, had a really strong work ethic and all of that. So that wasn't a problem, where some people might have that, you know, problem. I didn't. I saw that mindset. I saw how people could go from nothing to highly crazy successful with hard work and dedication. And my dad was also a serial entrepreneur, so he had a lot of businesses. He had a cash cow that was able to fund all of his other endeavors to help him grow, you know, his business. And so I saw that, got married at a young age. And one of the things that I learned was as a job hopper, and that wasn't on purpose. Like you said, we've moved over 30 times. So every time we moved to a new duty station, I would have to start at the bottom and work myself up to the top if I wanted to make any money. And with that, I learned some really great job skills. Immediately, it didn't take long. I could walk in, and within a week, I knew all the problems. I knew what needed to be solved. I knew whether this was going to be a good boss or a bad boss or, you know, whatever. And so I developed that skill set. And in order to make more money, I started going in and my interview, instead of just an hourly employee, I started asking for a base salary and then a percentage of whatever I could save or make that employer. And it was a win-win. And what ended up happening was, even some of these companies where, like, let's just say an accounting firm or something like that, I ended up making more than what some of those partners were making. Why? Because I went in and negotiated a salary based on productivity, on what I can do for them. That's the language, folks, that business owners understand. It's not that baby needs a new pair of shoes, or that you've not had a raise and you want a new car. It's bottom line. How much money can you save me? How much money can you make me? Because that's where your salary is tied in. So I started looking for those two things, and man, it's amazing what you can do. So, as an entrepreneur, you can be an entrepreneur at work. You may not have a lot of control, but you still have some control over what you can do for that boss. And just always remember those two things. It's expenses and revenue. That's what gets our attention. So focus on where you can help. And also when you do your end of year reviews, this is something that's very important. A lot of people forget about it until, the week of, and then they start scrambling and they get mad. And the same thing happens on the boss's side. They do the same thing. They wait, and then all of a sudden they're scrambling. So you as an employee need to take the bull by the horns all year long. Every time you've done something great, whether you've saved them money, because I'm telling you, that's the language we understand. Every time you've saved them money, you got them a new client, you referred somebody in, you helped them get a new valuable employee, all those things, you need to have a record of that. And so when you come into that review, you lay it all open. And, if you end up with a boss somewhere that can't do anything about that or won't do anything about it, you need to fire that boss and find you somebody that will appreciate the value that you bring. But on the flip side, if you're a loser employee, you're always late, you're never bringing any value to the table, you're never doing anything that affects that bottom line, guess what? In my opinion, you don't deserve a raise. You're just doing your job, right? To get a raise, you need to be going above and beyond. It's not about inflation, believe it or not, and cost of living allowances. So there are things that you can do, but the main things for a business owner and entrepreneurs, you need to have a buy-in from your team members. Why should they be working hard for you? Well, you better be giving them a piece of the action, because that's where it's at. If I saved you $1,000 and you came in and gave me a $250 bonus, I'm going to appreciate that. I'm going to start looking for other $1,000 in ways that I can save you money, right? So those are the things that you can really do.
I love that. They're so encouraging and inspiring, right? It's all in the language and understanding that, manager owner mentality and how you can align with that, where they can save money, where you brought in new clients. So really real talk, real talk with some Southern ass, Southern sass. So that's wonderful. And Nancy, so talking about referral business, right? So why is that important, becoming a referral member, referral partner?
It is really, really expensive to attract new people to your business. And one of the mistakes that people make is they're always out there. Now, lead generation is the number one problem of all entrepreneurs. But what we're not doing is, I want you to think just for a minute. I want you to look at your cell phone, how many contacts are in there. I want you to go to LinkedIn and find how many connections, Facebook, how many friends do you have on there? Then if you are an entrepreneur or a business owner, how many of those people have given you a referral in the last year? Chances are not very many, right? Why aren't they? You've got thousands. I think the average Facebook user, it's several thousand. And most of us have way more than that. Okay. I believe they cap us now at what is it? 5,000 on there for just the first tier. But anyways, why are people not referring business to you? There's a couple of reasons why they don't. One, they may not know how. They may, one of the biggest things I hear from real estate people is they get mad because their neighbor ends up signing their house with somebody else. They didn't do it on purpose, but it just never came to the top of their mind that that's what they do for a business and I need to use them. You need to be top of the mind to everybody in your spheres of influence. But one of the things is we're not clear on who our target market is. We're not clear on what it is that we do. That's where that 30-second pitch comes in, so that everybody around you needs to know what business you're in, what you do, how you do it, and who your perfect customer is. So with that said, if you had 1,000 people in your network, think of the impact to your bottom line if every single one of those people would just give you one referral this year. One, just one. Can you imagine the impact to your bottom line? So folks, you need to get busy. That's not hard because they're already your connections. You just need to educate your family and friends and your connections on what it is that you do and how they can help you. We all love helping one another. That's the part of being a referral partner, right? And it's give and take. It's not one way. You get into some of these groups, and I will tell you, our group's not like this. But you get into some of these networking groups, and all they do is they come in for a couple of times and take all they can, and they never reciprocate. Well, it doesn't take long. You're going to get a bad reputation for that. And you have to build credibility, and you have to build relationships. That's part of that. Well, all of these people that are already your connections, you already have some type of relationship with them. So it's going to be way easier to reach out to those people because they're more like your warm market, and keep them up to date on what it is that you're doing. Collaborations is another thing. Oh my gosh, in our group, we have done a gazillion of these, and this is wonderful. A collaboration is when two people get together for the good, and each one of them walks away, and it's a win-win situation, you know? And even our co-op has got together. Folks, there's some things that you can do. We wanted a great website. One of the things that we did was I showed them, I went and I negotiated this really great price for this website that none of us could have afforded on our own. We all pitched in a few bucks, and we bought this website for our group. So now it's ours. And all that was is it just cost us a few bucks a piece to do that. So there's different ways that you can cooperate, but business-wise, all these summits, are you looking out here, probably on your Facebook feed, you're probably seeing all of this stuff going on. Those are collaborations. They're not costing anybody just a little bit, and they go out and they promote one event to their spheres of influence. And you get 5, 10 entrepreneurs together that have different, but products and service that can serve the same market. And you're talking about your business could blow up overnight. So there's wonderful, wonderful things associated with becoming a referral partner, having collaborations, joint ventures, and all of those things. You can do it with 2 people. You can do it with 10 or 100. Just depends on what type of business that you're in and what you're looking for.
Fantastic. I love it. And folks who are watching, I dropped in the link. The website that Nancy talked about that we pooled our funds to acquire is www.meetmyreferralpartners.com. So there you have it. Go ahead and check us out. You'll see our bios up there. You'll see who is connected with us in our Lunch and Learn community. And just to give a shout out to our recent members, because I thought this was brilliant, and it's just totally a vision that came to life, right? And that is Jeffrey Berger and Blaney Teal. So they're members of our program, of our network. And Jeffrey wanted to put on a holistic mental health wellness event, and he needed a platform. He needed a platform that could support a virtual event, that could support speakers, handle attendees, all that, and networking. And Blaney Teal in our group had access to a platform that she bought and she had license to called Remo. And so they were able to get together, right, form this collaboration and, arrange to somehow work with each other to put together this fabulous summit. It happened at end of March. It was a huge success. So folks, those are the things that are happening right this moment. So you just got to dive in and, be open to possibility and be open to speaking up, right? And learning about how you can even just borrow tools and platforms and ideas and work together like that. So definitely check out meetmyreferralpartners.com. And Nancy, you brought up a good point about how we also need to be clear on our target market, our business, what we offer, right? Because your referral partner can only be good as you. So just the educating, informing, I thought you brought up a good point there.
And well, on that point, here's one of the problems that I see, and we get it in our group, and we try and educate folks. We've got a lot of extremely educated, talented, experienced entrepreneurs, and you can do a whole lot of things. Some of us are older than others, and so we've got more experience. And you come into these networking groups, and you tend to want to throw up on us and tell us everything that you've done, since you were 2 years old and how great you are. We know you're as great, we know all these things. But as a referral partner, when you come into these groups, you need to focus on one thing at a time. And as you build your relationships with these groups and you come in week after week, then you can, each week you could introduce us into a new product or a new service or something new about your background that we would need to know. But it's very difficult. The lights go down, the eyeballs roll, all of those things when all of a sudden you come in and tell us, 50 things. It gets lost in the shuffle. And so make sure, folks, I'm talking to you. Don't do that. Don't do that. Come in, be clear, just stick with maybe one or two items. And then that call to action is very important. Don't do a call to action, tell them what they want to do, and then come back and start pitching again, because that gets us all confused. So once you finish that pitch, come in with a good, strong, we call it an irresistible offer, which it's a call to action. It could be a discovery call. It could be you have a special discount on a product or a service this week, whatever it is that you're wanting to offer, and then give them a clear way to communicate with you. For us, if you're in these virtual platforms, what we tell is we have all of our members to come up with a hashtag. That way, when you save your chats, you can go through there quickly and find someone who's interested in that. For example, mine is hashtag show me the money. So when I do the call to action, I know I can quickly go through there, and anybody that's interested in what I offered that day, I just look for those hashtags and I can easily follow up with those people. But make sure that you tell them what you want to do and then communicate in the chat, or just like we're doing right here. You need to verbalize and have it easy for them to contact you. Doesn't need to be a difficult thing.
Fantastic. Awesome. So I'm just going to put in the link here. If you enjoyed this broadcast, if you enjoy seeing Nancy and I, we get together every Friday at 11:30 a.m. Central, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. So again, it's Lunch and Learn Zoom Friday. So you're more than welcome to check us out. Take us for a little test drive. You can come twice before you have to make a decision to become a member or not. And so I'd like to turn this to the audience because we've got quite a few number of people watching. Do you guys have any questions for Nancy? If you type it into the chat, we can bring it up. So if there's any questions out there, I'd love to hear your questions for Nancy. And I think, we're still live in Vietnam, which is exciting because it's like midnight over there. So I appreciate you guys.
Felt like she's pulling up some of our hours, right? Don't need much sleep.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Nancy, for joining us here today on Lunchtime Live. And, you know where to find her. It's under meetmyreferralpartners.com. So go ahead and book a call with Nancy and get to love hearing more of her little Southern accent. I think that's one of her unique traits, is everyone loves hearing Nancy talk, right? And so, so check out Nancy's website. Check us out on Lunch and Learn Zoom Fridays. And if you would like to be featured on a future, Lunchtime Live, get with me. I love nothing more than just helping you build up your confidence and showing up here and being visible to the community and creating an impact. So thank you guys again for watching, for tuning in wherever you are, and have an amazing day. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Olivia. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Take care, Nancy. Have a great day. I'll see you Friday.
Yeah.